Have you ever wondered why the man who gives her endless attention is often the one she forgets? While the man who says little, who carries himself with quiet strength, becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. The truth may surprise you. Attraction is not built on looks, money, or even charm. It's built on psychology, on something deeper, something primal. Women don't become obsessed with the man who tries the hardest. They become obsessed with the man who awakens their emotions, who stirs something powerful inside their mind and heart. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. 9 timeless principles drawn from psychology and rooted in Stoic wisdom that will change the way you see yourself and the way others see you. These are not tricks. They are foundations for becoming a man of depth, presence, and strength. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs it. And stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear may change how you live and how you love forever. 1. The scarcity effect. Limited access. Let me share something that may sound simple, but it carries a weight most men never understand. When you give your time too freely, when you are always available, always waiting, always ready at the snap of a finger, you begin to lose value. Now, I don't mean this in a cold or manipulative way. I mean it in the deepest sense of human psychology. Think about it. What do we treasure most in life? It's rarely the things we can grab anytime we want. It's the things that are rare, the things that demand effort, the things that require patience. Diamonds are just rocks until scarcity gives them meaning. And your time, your presence, your attention, they're far more precious than diamonds, if only you learn to treat them that way. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reminded himself that life is short, that every breath is a gift already slipping away. He guarded his time like a man protects his last coin. Because once it's spent, it's gone forever. And if a man like Marcus, who ruled an empire, understood the sacred value of time, shouldn't we? Here's the truth. When you refuse to be constantly available, when you choose to live with purpose instead of waiting for someone else to define your worth, you change the way others see you. You become rare, and what is rare always sparks desire. Think about the times you've seen a man who doesn't rush to answer every text, who doesn't drop everything just because someone calls. He isn't cold, he's grounded. He's building something. He respects his own path. And suddenly, people lean in closer. They wonder what he's doing, why his attention isn't so easy to claim. This is the scarcity effect. It's not about playing games. It's about living so intentionally that your life naturally speaks for itself. You're not withholding, you're prioritizing. And in doing so, you send a powerful message. My time is valuable. And if you want to be part of it, it must be earned. And that, my friend, is the beginning of true attraction. 2. The imprint effect, one of a kind. Let me tell you something that's easy to forget in a world chasing status, cars, and money. True connection isn't built on what you own, but on what you create. Not possessions, but moments. Think back to your own life. Do you remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago? Probably not, but I'll bet you remember your first heartbreak, your first kiss. That one night when the world seemed to stop for a second and you felt completely alive. Why? Because those moments left an imprint on your soul. The Stoics understood this well. Every evening, Marcus Aurelius would sit down and write in his journal, not to impress others, not to show off wisdom, but to carve memories, reflections, and lessons into his mind. Day by day, Those writings became his anchor. They were his imprints of truth. Now in relationships, the same principle applies. You don't stand out by doing what every other man does. Fancy dinners, flashy gifts, endless compliments. She won't remember the price tag. She'll remember how she felt when she was with you. Did she laugh so hard her stomach hurt? Did she feel truly seen? When you listened, really listened? Without distraction, did you share a piece of your soul she didn't expect? That's what lingers. Here's the secret: create experiences that no other man can give. It doesn't require wealth. It requires presence. Maybe it's as small as a handwritten note tucked inside a book she's reading. Maybe it's taking her to a quiet place only you know, where the stars shine brighter than in the city. Maybe it's sharing a childhood story that reveals the boy you once were and the man you're becoming. These moments carve an imprint in her mind. And once that imprint is there, it can't be erased. You become more than just another man in her life. You become a memory. She carries an anchor. She returns to a presence that feels irreplaceable. So remember this. Don't try to impress with what fades. Impress with what lasts. Because money will be spent. Status will be forgotten. But the way you made her feel, that will remain etched in her heart forever. 3. Leadership, calm, grounded direction. There's a quiet truth many men overlook. Leadership isn't about raising your voice or demanding respect. It's about presence. It's about the way you carry yourself when life becomes uncertain, when the people around you feel restless, and when direction is needed most. Women, like all human beings, naturally lean toward steadiness. We're all drawn to those who can stand tall when the ground feels shaky. And this is where a stoic man shines. Not through arrogance, not through show, but through composure. Think of a storm at sea. The waves crash, the wind howls, and the boat rocks violently. Now, imagine the captain panicking, shouting, and losing his grip on the wheel. Everyone aboard feels that fear multiply. But when the captain stands, calm hands, steady eyes focused on the horizon, suddenly the crew finds strength. They trust him not because he's loud, but because he's grounded. Leadership in a relationship works the same way. A man who constantly seeks approval, who waits for someone else to take the lead, creates anxiety. But a man who moves with clarity, who makes decisions with care, who plans with intention, who offers direction without smothering, becomes a source of peace. The Stoics called this eupatheia, healthy emotions born from reason. When you act from reason rather than impulse, your presence calms others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves break." That rock doesn't shout, doesn't fight. It simply stands firm, and in doing so, it gives stability to all around it. Women feel this deeply. True leadership isn't about dominance, it's about responsibility. It's about saying, "I've thought about this. I'll take care of it. You can rest easy now." That kind of leadership doesn't cage a woman. It frees her. It allows her to relax, to trust, to feel safe in your presence. So brother, if you want to embody real leadership, remember this. It's not in the noise, it's in the silence. It's not in control, it's in composure. Be the man whose steadiness turns chaos into clarity. Because the calm leader, the grounded man, that's the man who is truly unforgettable. 4. Mystery and curiosity. One of the greatest mistakes men make is believing that if they simply reveal everything about themselves, every thought, every story, every detail, someone will love them more. But the truth is, the more you lay out on the table too quickly, the less valuable it feels. Mystery is not about hiding who you are. It's about pacing what you reveal. The unseen, as the Stoics knew, is often more powerful than what is immediately visible. Epictetus once said that self-control is the highest form of dignity. To hold back, to resist the urge to overshare, is not weakness, it's strength. Think about the books you've loved the most. Did they give away the ending on the first page? Of course not. They carried you chapter by chapter, each page leaving you curious about what comes next. That tension, that curiosity, is what made the story unforgettable. Now apply this to life, to relationships, to attraction. If you spill your entire story in the first hour, you rob her of the experience of discovery. People cherish what they uncover slowly, what they earn piece by piece. It's not about deception, it's about depth. A Stoic man understands that his life is layered. He doesn't rush to prove himself, doesn't beg to be understood. He lets his actions speak, lets his silence carry weight, and allows others to lean in over time. And the beauty is, when she senses there's more beneath the surface, she'll naturally want to know. This doesn't mean you put on a mask. No, it means you live fully with purpose, and you reveal yourself like a sunrise, gradual, steady, and full of light. The first glimpse is beautiful, but it's the unfolding that takes your breath away. So remember this: keep something sacred for yourself. Guard your depth as you would guard a treasure. Invite her to discover who you are, one layer at a time, because curiosity is a powerful force, and when she feels there's always more to learn about you, her attention won't drift. It will deepen. Mystery, my friend, is not about playing games. It's about respecting yourself enough to know that your soul is worth exploring slowly. And that slow discovery is what makes a connection unforgettable. 5. Emotional roller coaster. Let me tell you something most men forget. Attraction doesn't live in logic. You can't reason your way into someone's heart. You can't present a list of your qualities and expect love to bloom. No attraction grows in the soil of emotion. It's born in the highs, the lows, the unexpected turns that make life feel alive. Think about the moments you still remember years later. They weren't all perfect, polished, or planned. Some were messy, some were vulnerable, and some caught you off guard. But they stirred your heart, and because of that, they stayed with you. That is the power of the emotional roller coaster. A Stoic man understands this deeply. He doesn't hide behind a mask of stone. He reveals just enough of his humanity, his struggles, his doubts, even his scars, without ever losing his composure. This balance is powerful. It shows strength wrapped in honesty. And honesty, when delivered with calmness, awakens trust. Now here's the key. You don't need grand gestures. Small, authentic moments matter most. Share a personal story that makes her see the boy you once were before you became the man you are now. Create playful tension tease, lightly. Laugh together, invite her into spontaneity. Then balance it with silence, or with a vulnerable truth that brings her closer. It's in these shifts from joy to depth, from lightheartedness to meaning, that emotions are stirred. Why does this work? Because the human brain doesn't cling to logic. It clings to feeling. She won't remember every word you said, but she'll remember the way her heart raced when you surprised her. She'll remember the warmth of your vulnerability, the laughter that felt unforced, the calm strength that held it all together. This is what makes you unforgettable. Not perfection, not endless consistency, but a journey of emotions that she experiences only with you. And once her mind connects you with those feelings, it becomes nearly impossible to let go. So remember, be unafraid of depth. Be unafraid of play. Be unafraid of showing you're human. Lead her on an emotional journey where she feels alive in your presence. Because in the end, it's not logic that ties two people together. It's the emotions they awaken in each other's hearts. 6. The dopamine. Hook unpredictability. One of the most dangerous traps a man can fall into is predictability. When every word, every action, every moment follows the same rhythm, life becomes dull. And dullness, my friend, is the enemy of attraction. Think about it. Why do people get hooked on social media? It's not because every post is incredible. It's because of the unknown. Maybe the next swipe will bring a laugh, maybe a surprise, maybe something that stirs the heart. That unpredictability lights up the brain's reward system. It's the spark of dopamine, the same spark that keeps people coming back again and again. Now apply that to relationships. If you text at the exact same time every morning, if you repeat the same compliments, if every date looks exactly like the last, her mind drifts. She knows what's coming. And when the outcome is certain, the excitement fades. A Stoic man, however, understands the art of balance. He doesn't live by chaos, but he doesn't live by monotony either. He knows how to bring intensity at the right time, a spontaneous adventure, a heartfelt surprise, a moment of laughter that feels unplanned. And then he steps back. He gives space. He lets her mind wander, letting curiosity do its quiet work. This rhythm presence, followed by absence intensity, followed by calm, is powerful. It creates a loop in her mind, the same loop that keeps people turning pages in a book they can't put down. She starts to wonder, what will he do next? Where will he take me? What will he say? And in that wondering, desire grows. But let me be clear. Unpredictability doesn't mean manipulation. It doesn't mean games. It means living fully so that your life itself is dynamic. One day, you're working on your craft. Another, you're hiking under the stars. Another, you're sharing a story from your childhood that no one else has heard. That kind of variety isn't forced. It's simply the life of a man who refuses to live on autopilot. So be that man. Don't let routine drain your spirit. Carry a spark of spontaneity. Create moments that surprise, and then step back to let her feel the space. In that balance, you become like a flame in the dark. Impossible not to notice, impossible not to seek. 7. The scarcity magnet. Chasing what's rare. Let me ask you something, brother. Why is it that people are willing to pay fortunes for a diamond? At the end of the day, it's just a stone. It doesn't feed you, it doesn't shelter you, it doesn't protect you. And yet its value skyrockets because it is scarce, because not everyone can have it. Now think about your life. Think about the way you've given yourself away in the past. Your time, your energy, your attention, without hesitation, without boundaries. And what happened? The more available you made yourself, the less you were valued. The more you chased, the faster she ran. It's not cruelty, it's human psychology. A Stoic man understands this law of scarcity. He knows that when he gives everything too easily, he empties himself. But when he guards his time, when he invests in his growth, his craft, his discipline, suddenly his presence feels different. It feels earned. And what feels earned will always be cherished. I've seen this countless times. A man who waits by the phone replying within seconds, sacrificing his priorities just to please communicates one thing. My life has no greater mission than you, and though it may sound romantic, it reveals weakness. Contrast that with the man who is calm, who is focused on building, who respects his own schedule, who pursues his vision relentlessly. That man becomes the prize. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about withholding kindness or playing games. It's about alignment. A Stoic man lives with a hierarchy of values. His principles come first. His growth comes first. His integrity comes first. And because of that, he doesn't crumble when someone steps away. His life remains full, and his presence becomes a gift, not a given. Scarcity creates desire. Desire fuels pursuit. And when you embody this truth, you'll find that you no longer need to chase. You'll be chased. So ask yourself, are you offering yourself cheaply, like something anyone can pick up off the street? Are you guarding your time like the rare treasure it truly is? Become the diamond. Not because you shine the brightest, but because not everyone gets to hold you. That's the essence of the scarcity magnet. 8. Stoic independence. Wholeness within. There is a strength far greater than physical power, and it is often overlooked in our world today. It is the strength of independence, the kind that comes when a man no longer seeks his worth in the eyes of others. So many men make this mistake. They measure themselves by how quickly she replies, by whether she praises them, by how much approval they can gather. And every time they do, they give away their center. They hand over the keys to their own peace of mind. And when you let someone else define your value, you also give them the power to control you. A Stoic man lives differently. He understands that validation is a trap. His worth is not borrowed from another's opinion. It is rooted in his character, his discipline, his principles. Whether praised or criticized, he stands steady. Whether noticed or ignored, he remains whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not what others say or do that disturbs us, but our own judgments about them." When you build your life on this truth, you become unshakable. No woman, no man, no crowd can sway your sense of self. And that quiet independence, brother, it is magnetic. Because here's the paradox: when you no longer need approval, you begin to attract it. When you stop begging for attention, people lean closer. They see that you are already complete, that you carry no emptiness waiting to be filled. And this completeness is rare. Picture two men. One cannot breathe without her constant reassurance. The other lives fully, pursues his vision, tends to his soul. He loves deeply, but he does not cling. He gives freely, but he does not lose himself. Which man do you think she respects? Which man does she find harder to forget? This is Stoic independence, not coldness, not detachment, but wholeness. It is the power to say, "I choose you, but I don't need you to complete me." And when you live this way, every relationship becomes stronger, because instead of pulling from desperation, you give from abundance. So, brother, learn to stand firm in yourself. Cultivate your inner fortress. And remember, the man who does not need validation holds the greatest power of all. 9. Consistency of character integrity over time. If there is one lesson the Stoics would insist every man learn, it is this: character is destiny. Not charm, not appearance, not clever tricks. Character. And character is revealed not in a single moment, but in the constancy of your life. Too many men try to build attraction with games. They change who they are, depending on who's watching. They say one thing then do another. They bend their values to win approval, thinking this flexibility will make them loved. But what it really makes them is forgettable. Because nothing is weaker, nothing is less trustworthy than a man who shifts with every wind. A Stoic man understands that the greatest obsession is not born in chaos, but in trust. When your words, your actions, and your principles align, you create a presence that others can lean on. You become steady, reliable, rare in a world full of noise and pretense. Think of a lighthouse. Night after night, storm after storm, it shines in the same place with the same light unwavering. Sailors trust it not because it's flashy, but because it is consistent. In the same way, a man whose integrity endures becomes irresistible. He is the one she can trust when the world feels uncertain. Marcus Aurelius never wrote his meditations for an audience. He wrote them to remind himself of who he was, day after day. That daily practice was his anchor, his way of ensuring that he didn't stray from his principles. And it is this steadiness over time that makes a man unforgettable. So ask yourself, when she looks at you, does she see a man who changes with the crowd, or a man who holds to his path? Do your promises match your actions? Do your principles stand even when it costs you something? Because here's the truth, desire fades when it is built on illusion, but desire deepens when it is rooted in trust. And trust comes only from consistency. Be the man who does not change his nature to please. Be the man whose character endures day after day, storm after storm. In time, that integrity will not only command respect, it will inspire a quiet obsession. Brother, we've walked through 9 powerful truths, principles rooted not in tricks or fleeting charm, but in timeless Stoic wisdom. Scarcity, mystery, leadership, emotional depth, independence, and integrity. Each of these isn't just about attraction. They are about becoming the kind of man who commands respect by the way he lives. And when you embody these values consistently, you won't need to chase anyone. Your presence itself will draw others in. Remember, this obsession is not built on empty gestures, but on the steady weight of character. The Stoics taught us that the most powerful life is the one lived with purpose, discipline, and dignity. When you stand firm in who you are, when your words and actions align, you become unforgettable, not only to her, but to the world around you. If this message has stirred something in you, then join me on this journey. Subscribe to Stoic Outlook. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and leave a comment below. Together, we'll continue to explore the deeper layers of Stoic wisdom and apply them to the challenges of modern life. The journey doesn't end here, it's only beginning.